Hi there, this is Champion Trader Kevin Davey, and today I'm going to take this mini S&P Algo from pretty good to supercharged. So let's get started. Before we get started, if you haven't signed up for my free Algo strategy, now's the time to do so. Hit the QR code or enter the link you see at the bottom, or in the description you'll find a link. Sign up, you'll get this free Algo and lots of other great information. Okay, so in case you don't know what algo trading is and what algos are, just give you a brief introduction. An algo is just a set of buy and sell rules that you can program in and back test and forward test with your trading software. So if you have TradeStation, NinjaTrader, Pro Realtime, TradingView, whatever you have, if you can write down the rules and program them, you should be able to run a test to see how that has performed historically. When you put it like that, algos are pretty simple. So I'm going to show you an algo today for the mini S&P. I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit and show you some results. So here is today's algo. So here are the rules defined. The way I set this up is I made 4 versions. So up at the top it says I version. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So version 1 will just be a buy and hold. Version 2 will hold one contract the whole time. Version 3 will use money management to add a contract every $20,000 in equity that it makes, but it limits it to 5 total contracts. And then version 4 will do the same kind of money management, except it will limit it to 10 contracts. So I called it money management. Some people call it position sizing. They're kind of similar, but the way to think about this is version 1, buy and hold. Version 2, one contract all the time. Version 3, one contract up to 5, depending on the profits. And version 4, one contract up to 10, depending on the profits. So if you look at the rest of the code, there's some declarations. And by the way, this is in TradeStation format. It should be pretty simple for you to understand no matter what language you use. Number of contracts is just the total profit plus the open profit. So it's closed profit plus the open profit divided by 20,000. That gives you the number of contracts to trade. I didn't do any rounding or making an integer or anything like that. It'll still do integer number of contracts. Then I say if the number of contracts is less than 1, make it 1. So I always want to trade at least 1 contract. And then here's the different code for the different versions, which limits it to 5 or 10 contracts. Then I said for version 2, I want to go and do my strategy, where down below, near the bottom, it says if version 1, just buy the next bar. So that would be buy and hold. The very last line will just close all positions at the end so that we can compare statistics because everything's closed. And then the meat of the strategy is right in here. So it's in this part right here. And so for versions 2, 3, and 4, what it's going to do, and this is with 60-minute bars, it's going to compare the close to the close a certain number of bars ago. And you can see in this case it's 250 bars. So it would be 250 60-minute bars. So that's quite a long term. So it wants that to be down, so that longer momentum is down. And if it's a Monday, at the last bar of the day, then buy the first bar on the Tuesday session, which starts at 6 p.m. Eastern time for the ES. So this will, as long as that momentum's down, on Mondays it's going to buy, and then on Thursdays, near the end of the day, it's going to sell. So it's not at the end of the day, it's at 1500. So it'll sell on Thursday towards the end of the day. And those are the two main rules, and then there's also one if it makes a certain amount of profit, which in this case is 1.5 times 2,500, it will exit, and if it loses, $1,250 per contract. And that's for the ES. I also have some code in here which says big point value divided by 50, so you could run it with MES and it will automatically adjust for the size, so that's pretty cool. And that's it. That's the whole code. So some sample trades, just one trade. You can see this is the last bar of Monday, and then it will buy the opening bar on Tuesday at 6 p.m. And then in this case, it hit its profit that first day. It might not. Sometimes it hits losses. Sometimes it goes all the way till Thursday. It depends. So that's what it looks like. All right, so let's just take a look at some results, some equity curves. Buy and hold, this is what it looks like. You know, you bought the first bar and you kept it from 2007 on to today, or June 3rd. One contract, well, that looks a lot better than the buy and hold. We'll show some statistics in a little bit that prove that. 5 contracts, hey, you're getting this nice kind of curve. It's kind of like an exponential curve, but you do have bigger drawdowns. And then with 10 contracts, you get even more as far as profit, more exponential growth, but you have bigger drawdowns along the way. So depending on what your risk tolerance is, you can pick a version that might work for you. So let's just compare them. Buy and hold, it definitely made money. It also had a huge drawdown during the trade, and it ended up with a risk-adjusted return of 3.0, which is the lowest of all these. And then you can see the data for one contract, 1 to 5 with a 5 max, and 1 to 10 with a 10 max. And the best from a risk-adjusted basis is the one contract. Just trading one contract had the best risk-adjusted basis. And you could kind of tell that from the equity curve, because it had what I would consider the straightest. You know, the other ones, you saw a lot of drawdowns, and that lowers your profit to drawdown ratio. So that's what's best if you're just looking at profit to drawdown, which is a very important metric. But if you're looking for just percent return, how much can you get out of this strategy? Well, then the far right column, the 1 to 10 contracts with 10 max, goes from 579% return to that 2461. So that's the supercharged version. A lot more profit, but look at the drawdown. It's like 10 times as much, which, you know, you'd more or less expect because you can trade up to 10 contracts. So the other interesting thing I thought I'd note here is, because a lot of people think, oh, hey, I'll just buy and hold. You know, the annual return is actually better than one contract. So why not just do buy and hold? Well, that's true. But your exposure with buy and hold, you're always in the market. Where if you trade this strategy with one contract, you're only in the market 10%. So that means 90% of your time, that cash in your brokerage account could be put to use trading other strategies. And that's one of the benefits of trading multiple strategies. So you can, if you have some free cash, you can trade other strategies, and then that would be additive. You know, and if you trade another strategy, it would add into this, and you could get a lot more than just the buy and hold return. So just something to think about. Again, I took one contract, went from 579% total return over this period up to 2,400% return. Pretty neat. What do you think? Leave a comment, subscribe, let me know what you're doing. I'd love to hear it. All right, I'm Kevin Davey. Have a great day.